Hello there and welcome back to another video. It's been a while, but we're going to get straight into this one anyway. We have got a lot of games coming up this month and I'm going to try and keep track of all of them because the tail end of this season is coming up quicker than I even imagined it. Like it only feels like a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, where it felt like, oh, we've got 20 games left, and we haven't at all. We're going to get into it. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at league tables, look at our run that we've got in April as well, and hopefully maybe even a little bit beyond as well. But obviously Liverpool are coming up against Watford at the weekend. How are we feeling about it? How are you feeling about it? Do you feel confident about this Liverpool team coming up against Watford, which might sound ridiculous saying it, but this Watford team have done things to us in the past that just make it, always one of those sorts of games where you're a bit wary. Every single game in the Premier League can be a little bit like that, from the bottom of the league to the top of the league. And right now we're sat second in the league. We want to try and get to first by the end of the season, but we don't know how that's going to happen. But every team presents its problems in the Premier League for everybody. This isn't just for Liverpool, but like the only team that seems to be invulnerable to it these days is Manchester City. They seem to be able to put away any opponent they come against, and we still have to play Man City a few times, and we'll have a look at that in the fixtures and stuff like that. I want to focus on Watford just at the moment. Liverpool coming up against Watford. We're at home. We are the 12:30 kickoff. It's going to be on BT if you're in the UK. I have BT. I don't know about anybody else and streaming services and stuff, but I'll be watching it on BT anyway. Obviously, if you're at Anfield, good for you. I wish I could be, but I can't be. And this is the probable lineup, as it says here this is on the fotmob.com. Moved away from SofaScore. I still use SofaScore on my phone, but I actually find that on my phone, SofaScore is better than the website, and FotMob is better on the website than it is on the phone. So I've decided to, I just switch it around a little bit on here. I just think it gives you a nice little bit of detail here as well. And if I look at this lineup, as you can look at it, hopefully it's on screen as well. Haven't done a recording like this in a while, so it's been a bit of a learning experience to get it going again. Alisson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez. Gomez at right back could be interesting. I think it could still work against Watford. Trent might still be out. He has returned to some form of training this week, but I don't know whether he's going to be ready. And I like to err on the side of caution with these things. And I would go with someone like Joe Gomez, who the last time he played right back for us actually played a pretty decent game from what I remember. Into the midfield. Midfield speaks for itself, almost like the front three will as well. Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson, no issues whatsoever. Diaz, Mane and Salah, obviously they're coming up, especially Mane and Salah, have come up against each other like probably more times than they would have expected to in the last year. Unfortunately, it means that Egypt aren't going to the World Cup. Senegal are, due to a Mane penalty. Look, it's a tough situation, but I'm just glad that we don't really, at the moment, we don't have to choose. These guys both play for us, and I'm quite happy about that. So, and obviously Luis Diaz as well. I think it's an electric front three. I think it's a very, very solid, very, very good midfield and a very good back line with a goalkeeper as well. Coming up against a Watford team that I expected would do a lot better this season. As you can see on the right hand side here, they are 18th in the league, currently in the relegation zone. We are second in the league, 1 point behind Manchester City, and they'll obviously be playing after us in the league as well. And like I say, it's we're on good form. Our last loss was against Inter Milan. Didn't need to win it, but it was one of those games that it would have been nice to win it as well. But we're on a good run. Clean sheets as well against West Ham, against Brighton, against Arsenal, and then against Nottingham Forest in the Cup as well, which that was a tense game. I'm just glad we got through it. And I was just glad to see the back of that game as well. Really, really glad to see the back of that game. Now let's have a look at our fixtures that are going to be coming up. The only one that's not going to be coming up is the Aston Villa game, obviously because it was going to take place on the same day that we're going to play Man City in the FA Cup. I'm sure it might have been rescheduled, and I've just not looked for it, and that's my bad on that one. But it's a full-on April, as you can see. This is just April, right? We've got Liverpool, Watford, Saturday, Benfica on Tuesday. Then we come up against Man City in the Premier League on the Sunday, the 10th. Then we go back and we play against Benfica at home this time for the second leg. Then we play Man City in the FA Cup. Then we play Man United. Then we play Everton. Then we play Newcastle. Look, it's full on. It is so full on. How many games we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games. 8 games in total. Like, it's a lot of games, innit? It's a serious amount of games. I think we've got the squad to do it purely because we've been very good with injuries. You know, hats off and a round of applause to the medical staff at Liverpool, because I don't know how you've done it this year. I really don't know how you've done it this year to keep all these guys fit with minimal injuries. Milner, Naby Keita, Trent Alexander-Arnold. As it says, these guys might be coming back early April, which could mean they might be available on the bench or maybe even starting in a rare occurrence. You know, we are well stocked with players and we're doing well this season as well. I want to go and look at the Premier League table if I can. This is probably going to take us to the fixtures. So the table, this is how it looks. Goal difference, we are better than Man City. They have a better defence than us. We've got a better offence. Their next game is against Burnley. Chelsea, 10 points behind us. It's never over till it's over. You know, we've got 9 games left to play. They've got 10 games left to play. They could potentially pick up 30 points out of 30 if it happens, if it rolls that way. I don't think so. It's going to be really tight. I'm still of the mindset that I don't know whether we're going to get it done to win the Premier League. People say it is in our hands, and technically it is, but we have to beat Man City in the league. And if I remember rightly, I don't think we beat Man City in quite a few goes, as it is anyway. Coming up against Watford, it's going to be difficult, I think, because, well, I always say this, and I think people maybe don't always get it, why I say it. I always say that games are going to be difficult, because for some reason, it's not necessarily the opposition that can make it difficult for us, but sometimes we make it difficult for ourselves. Like, the main criticism I would have for Liverpool over the last month or so would be not necessarily starting games like on the front foot. Tend to be that the team that we're coming up against will start on the front foot against us, and then we have to sort of step up and adjust. I'm hoping that we can get a little bit more of that going on the front foot, and guys like Luis Diaz can make that difference. You know, brand new player at Liverpool, only been with us since January, but he's electric. He's an absolutely fantastic player. He's a wonderful addition to the team as well. There are other options that you could put in this team as well, likes of Diogo Jota, who's had a good international with Portugal as well. Most of these guys have had good internationals that have been away as well. And like, I just think that we have the ability to overwhelm a team like Watford. You know, Roy Hodgson himself coming out saying that he's worried about, you know, Liverpool coming, you know, and playing against Watford as well. It sort of, for me, it sometimes feels like we rest a little bit on our laurels, just that we sometimes seem to believe that we are a very, very good team, and that we don't, it doesn't always seem to translate a lot that we have to put the effort in, you know, required to come up against another Premier League team, whether they're in the bottom 3, the bottom half of the table, top half of the table, or they're top of the table, and if we're not, which we aren't right now. I would just like us to be a bit more on the front foot. Obviously, if we don't play Trent, it's a little bit more difficult in that area because no one recreates in the world what he does at right back. Don't care what anyone says. No one does it. They just don't. Gomez would be good at right back. He's just not going to offer you what Trent does at right back, you know. And I just hope that we can get more on that. Let's get on the front foot. Let's set ourselves away. Because the last thing you want is to come up against a team that is fighting against relegation. They don't want to be relegated, obviously. Who would want to be relegated? You know, obviously there's the opportunity as well that, you know, Everton could be in the relegation zone. That's a, you know, I'd love to see it happen. Don't think it will. But even so, regardless of any of that, I just think that we need to get on the front foot. If we can score early, it'll settle a lot of nerves, I think, and mean that we'll be able to overtake and take control of the game in a much more meaningful way. I think we'll control this game in possession anyway, purely because of the quality of players and the way that we play. Especially if you get your guys like Thiago or if Naby Keita plays. To get these guys on the ball in midfield and setting the tempo, good accurate passes, and like, you know, like the pass, oh God, who was it? The pass that Thiago made for Jota, was it against Arsenal? Pretty sure it was. You know, it was a really great pass. People like that can spot something from nothing, but also help you control the tempo of the game. We will control this game in terms of possession. We just will. But it's making it count. Because you can have all the possession in the world. I always used to go back and use the one that's most present in my mind was the later days of Arsene Wenger's Arsenal team. Would always have possession, good passing moves, but at the end of it, most of the time, they didn't always have a good end product. You don't want to turn into something like that. You want to make it mean something. I'm hoping, and I don't want to use it in a negative light, but I'm hoping that Salah and his experience with Egypt while he's been away, obviously not going to the World Cup, I hope it sets a fire, underneath him and means that he's going to come into this game like a house on fire. But I also hope it means that he doesn't become, because the thing with Salah before the international break was he was becoming a bit more selfish. There's passes on that he's not making and stuff like that, and like we'd seen him be. I mean, you can see hopefully in the right hand corner here. When you see 20 goals, 10 assists, like he's very creative. He's got double figures in both goals and assists. But we need to see more of not trying to take shots from strange positions and stuff like that. If there is a better pass on, make that pass. It's about the team. It's about the collective. Yes, you want to be the top scorer in the league. Totally get it. Understand it. That's absolutely awesome. But if it's for the collective, and it's not just about Salah, can sometimes be Mane as well. Less so, I would say, to a lesser extent. But it's about the collective, working together as a unit, and getting ourselves on the front foot. We do need to score, in my opinion, quite early on. That's just my opinion. I always think it settles the nerves a little bit. If you can get a good 1-2, go 2-0 up within maybe 20 minutes or something like that against a team like Watford, who are going to be scratching, clawing, fighting for their position in the Premier League, and they will not be, because they've only got 9 games left to go themselves. They don't want to be going down. They've been in the Premier League for a few years now. Like, they don't want to be going down. Like, they're going to be fighting. They could get physical. I just think that we'll be able to overwhelm this team. Like, and I don't want to say quite easily, because I'm never that arrogant with my predictions and stuff like that as well. If I'm going to give you a score prediction, I think it'll be 3-0 for Liverpool. I don't think it's going to be like a cricket score or anything like that, whatever you want to call it. I think a 3-0 victory for Liverpool against Watford at home, like at Anfield, I think that's a realistic thing to accomplish. If we can, and then we've also got, because I want us to be on the front foot and put the game to bed quite early, because of the Champions League game coming up, where we've got to go away to Benfica, and then you've got games against Man City coming up. It's going to be this on paper throughout the entirety of April looks like it should be the easiest game. It's always the games that look easy on paper that most of the time don't end up being easy. We've got to make sure that we are prepared, that we are ready to go and ready to take it seriously, which I think they will be, but it's just me communicating what I'm feeling inside, that I always get nervous whether we're coming up against 20th in the league to top of the league. Equally the same. Probably more so, I get more nervous about teams that are below us, because they're coming up against the big dog. They're coming up against the big team, and they'll raise their levels. And especially a team that's scrapping it out in the relegation zone, they're going to want to, maybe prove a point here or something like that. And then we will just have content coming for every single game that's coming. I'm making it an objective of mine. I know I've been slacking lately. There's reasons for that I don't want to go into, but I want to get content for all of these games coming up, because the tail end of this season, it's coming. It's coming like a freight train, and it's going to be over before we know it. And then it's going to be summer, and we're all going to be bored. But I will be anyway, because, sport is just, it's massive. The only thing I'll have is like UFC, which is good, but it's not Liverpool. But yeah, I want to get content for all of these games, for everything coming up. I'm going 3-0 for us against Watford. Start as we mean to go on, and hope that, because that's what we've got to hope for. I will finish with this. There's a lot of people turning around saying that Liverpool are going to win the league. I think even Gary Neville's turning around saying that Liverpool are more better placed to win the league and stuff like that at the moment. And I don't know where this has come from, but if anybody checks the table right now, if both teams, and I know it's impossible because we have to face each other in the league, but if both teams go out and win all of their games, we have to beat Man City. Not an easy thing to do. So it's not said and done that Liverpool are going to go out and win the league. And a lot of people are getting carried away about the whole quadruple talk. This is going to be the only time I talk about the quadruple, because I don't think we'll get a quadruple. I know we've already got a trophy. Fantastic, great. It's always good to have one. You know, if you can get one, great. That's what you're in it for. That's what players are in it for. That's what clubs are in it for. They want to win trophies. They want to get things in the cabinet and say, this is what we've won. This is our time at Liverpool. This is what we've done. We've accomplished this. It's so tough. People looking at Benfica like we've got an easy draw in the Champions League. I don't think it's easy. You'll get my thoughts on it after the weekend. It's not going to be easy. A lot of games against Man City, we've got to play against Man United. As inconsistent as they've been, they're a difficult team. Got to come up against Everton, as bad as they've been. It's a derby. Doesn't really matter. Newcastle were awful at the start of the season, but now they're very consistent. They're getting themselves up the table. It's not going to be an easy game. And they've got a good tactician, good manager in Eddie Howe as well. Got some good players in. So none of this is easy. And people thinking that like the Premier League's going to be sewn up and that Liverpool are going to win it and we're going to go through and we're going to go and, you know, maybe, I don't know, if we go through in the Champions League and maybe Villarreal can do us a favour and we can go and play against Villarreal like it's easy. None of it's easy. None of it's easy. We're not in the Champions League final. We haven't won the league yet. We haven't won the FA Cup yet. It's still all there. So this whole talk about a quadruple, it's actually just more, for me, it's been more annoying. It's great to be in the conversation of like, oh, you could win a quadruple. It's never been done before. But let's just go game by game because it's more realistic. Maybe it doesn't get the clicks and views that people get if they turn around and say, Liverpool are going to win the quadruple. We're absolutely going to do it. No one's going to be better than us. You know what? Hey, it'd be great. It would be fantastic. I go game by game. I have to go game by game. I can't go mentally. I can't look too far ahead. It's just not how I do things. It's not how I'm comfortable. It's not. I feel out of my comfort zone if I start turning around saying like we're going to smash Man City and we're going to smash this team and we're going to smash that team, and it's like game by game. Watford are the ones that are next. When Watford is over, we move on to Benfica because they'll be the team that's next. When Benfica's over, we go on to Man City, and then. That's how it works for me. I think it's realistic. Let me know what you think in the comments below. 3-0 against Watford. I would love it. I would take it right now. I'd take 1-0. I really would. 1-0, 96 minute, like, you know, Divock Origi, scuff it over the line. Whoever it is, I don't care who scores it. I really don't. As long as we get the win, I'm happy. If we get the draw, it doesn't do anything for us in the league, in my opinion. Just gives Man City more of the control. Gives them more of a handle on the steering wheel of winning the league. As long as we win, I don't care how we do it, and that's just me anyway. Anyway, it's been lovely to talk to you. It's been lovely to get my thoughts out there and speak to you all again in a video like this, where I'm actually putting the effort in and using my computer and not just my phone. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing really, really well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. And I hope you're looking after yourselves as well. It's not an easy time at the moment, as it hasn't been for the last 2 years as well. Maybe it's not getting easier. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. But I hope that you're just taking care. I hope you're well in some way. And if you're not, I hope you can get well at some point as well. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. If you've got sunshine, enjoy it. If you've got snow, enjoy it. I love snow. I hate the sun. Both the paper and the actual weather, so like I prefer the snow. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Thanks ever so much for watching.